Hi there, it's Elaine here and welcome back to my channel, Chatelaine Creates. And I thought what we'll do is make a glue book today, and I'm going to use some packaging. These are envelopes, these are Amazon envelopes. I also do have a, whoops, sorry, I hit the phone arm. A bag, a brown paper shopping carry bag kind of thing, and I'm going to show you how I make the packaging into a cover basically for a new glue book. So I'm going to base this on the one I made for Christmas, my Christmas glue book. And it's a bit of a mixture between a junk journal and a glue book kind of setup. I can show you how to do this in a different video, but I'm not actually going to use this one today. We basically have to kind of undo all of this. I did have a little start on it. There's going to be lots of noise because obviously brown paper is very noisy. So the Amazon, they're like an envelope, so they come stuck down. I've removed my address label so you won't see any of my personal details, and they have this kind of same setup really, so that when something's in it, it'll open up, but there's not always a gusset, as they call them, don't they? A gusset along the edge. It is purely just at the bottom. Now, the one I made at Christmas was an A4 size, so it's an A3 folded in half, which is what A4 and A3 are. And I'm basing it on, I want to make a full A4 size journal, which I've actually prepared the actual signature that I want to go in it, which is just basically plain paper that I can glue whatever I want down. But it does have some scrapbook papers intermingled in it that I've just cut down and made small pieces. And I've wanted a real mixture. That's the middle. That's the middle. And the brown ones come from this, which I bought in the works, and it was £4. And there's 24 sheets, and they're double-sided, but there's two of them, two of each sheet, so they're really quite pretty. And there's that centre one. So there's a mixture of some really lovely papers, and they're fairly thick, so I didn't want to use kind of full size sheets, because it makes the journal glue book a little bit, because they're a bit thick, makes it harder to build the journal when I'm sewing it together. I do have probably only one from this one. This is a new one I bought recently. I think I got this in the range. I think that was the works one up there, but I'm fairly sure I bought this one from the range. And yeah, got the range on the back. So there's 24 sheets of these 12 by 12s, and there's 12 unique styles, so there's two of each one, and they've all got bees on them, and there's a little bit of shiny gold here and there, but they're really cute. That one's very loud. great for, you know, Christmas maybe or something, I don't know. But I've only bought this fairly recently. I bought it this year when I went to the range, and I thought, well, we can use some of those. So I have used that one, I think. Yeah, it was that one. So it's 2 of each sheet, and they're not quite so heavy. What are these? Doesn't actually say, I don't think. No. So these are a bit lighter weight than those. What were they? 230, so they're quite thick. And if you're in America, our GSM for our letter size is 80. And the papers I've used in some of these, obviously the scrapbook paper, this is a it's gone. What's the name of the company? I can't remember now. It's completely gone out of my head. I'll keep doing this. I'll write it on the screen. It might come back to me. It did last time So the paper, this white paper is great big sheets that I've cut down, and I think that's probably around 100-120 GSM. So it's still paper, but it's a lot thicker from our 80 that we normally use to, you know, type letters and that type of thing on, which would be similar to your letter. And these are again either 100 or 120, and they're called sugar paper, this particular type. And this again is a creamy kind of colour, creamy yellowy. Yeah, there's the bumblebees. And so all of these coloured paper that's got this kind of mottly look to them, I don't know whether you can really tell properly, but they are called sugar paper, and I bought them as A3 sizes. So I've just folded them in half, and I haven't cut those down. The white paper I've had to cut down, it was a lot bigger, so that's why you can see some of it underneath, because I've took too much off as usual. There we are, doesn't matter, I don't care. So this one, when you fold it in half roughly, isn't big enough. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you that one in a minute. So these two are a bit too small, so we'll discard those. And this one is a really big one. So it was folded in half. And this is the size I used on the Christmas one, a big one like this. So what I did was, if I fold it in half the other way, which is what we're going to do with it, once the gussets are open, because this one has got a gusseted side on it, it should take this okay once I've opened the gussets. So what I'm going to do is prepare this one for making the glue book we're going to do today. Sorry, the trouble is it is a bit big, and I keep catching the cables. This one is the top half of the one I made at Christmas. This is what's left of it, and I'm also going to maybe do this one today. Now look, there is still spiders everywhere in my workshop at the moment. I had it all going across here in little strings with tiny little spiders on it, and I've had to clear them all out. There's still some coming. Hello? Don't know whether you can see it, but there he is. We want you out the way. We'll put you over there somewhere. And there's one walking on me rock, on me big pedal somewhere it was a minute ago. Oh, I might have just squished it, but I don't care. I don't like spiders. My whole workshop is just absolutely inundated now that spring has arrived. So this one got folded in half. This is the top half that I cut off. and I trimmed up the bottom, which I'll show you how to do with the one I'm going to do. But I'm also going to use this one, and I'm going to make what caged fish, which I have mentioned in previous videos. She was one of the first ladies that I watched that did glue booking, and she at the moment is doing what she calls a serendipity book, which is literally glue therapy, as she calls it, and literally just throwing down any sort of scraps or any kind of bits to fill the book. And I want to make a similar one, so I'm going to cut the top off. I've seen another one. There's one right over there on my lamp. Lemon spiders, I hate them. So, oh no, I don't need that for a minute. So this one's already folded in half when I originally did the big one, and I'm going to cut the top off it. There's my scissors, because it is quite badly kind of damaged. I don't know whether I want to tear it. But the trouble is with tearing it, I don't want to go... Actually, where is my big ruler? Let's see if this one will work. It's nearly long enough. It will do. It will do. I'm going to tear it off with a ruler. If I can make it stay there. I've been doing other things today because I finally got round to start doing some clearing out in here. And if you're new to my channel, I used to be what's called a lamp worker, which is a glass bead maker. I used to make jewellery, but I also used to make glass beads for jewellery of my own. And I used to work in here. This used to be my workshop, as I still call it a workshop, where I had this bench set up as my glass bead making equipment, because I had to use a torch, and my kiln's over in the corner that way. And I had it run on propane gas. That's how you know how you heat the glass. They come in rod form, which look like this, if you'd like to, because I've still got some in my drawers down here. So this is how they come. What colour is this? Light zucca, which is an Effetra glass, and you basically twiddle the rod in the flame, and you heat one end, and then you put it onto a steel mandrel to make the glass bead. So I'm having to sell all of my stuff off because I can't do it anymore because of my arthritis in my hands, which is really sad because I absolutely loved it. So when I had a fall in 2017, I stopped making beads at that time, and basically I never went back to it. So it is time that all of my equipment and all of my glass and any tools I want to sell off, like I do have some brass presses and things that make certain shaped beads, has got to be sold off. And so I finally got round to contacting the people where you buy your equipment and your glass and that from, called Tufnell Glass, and he's buying back my Oxicon for me because it needed servicing and it was under my bench in the way, and it's really large, takes up lots of room, and it's just one thing I needed to start to deal with before I can sell everything else off. So I've now contacted him. I've had to get my Oxicon, which is it's a proper name is an oxygen concentrator. So it basically produces oxygen, and the torch is fed by oxygen and propane gas mixed together to create a hotter flame. The oxygen makes the flame hotter from the gas. And oxygen in cylinder form is pretty lethal stuff. If you have an accident, it can literally explode. So what they do is they get oxygen concentrators from the medical profession, where somebody who needs a mobile oxygen supply, someone like my husband might need one at some point in his life, because he's got emphysema, and anybody that has kind of emphysema can end up on oxygen. And so the oxygen concentrator gives them the oxygen without having to have a oxygen cylinder. So I've now sold it back to Tufnells, and I needed to get it out, and it's a bit of manoeuvring, and my back was absolutely killing me because it weighs an absolute ton. So I am finally getting around to do my video after doing that this afternoon, because we had some nice sun out. Even though it's cold, it was sunny, so I was able to, because I have to get my chair out before I could get that out, and they both weigh quite a bit. And yeah, I was a bit knackered afterwards. Right, so sorry, I digress. And that's why I haven't been because I've been trying to get stuff sorted out in here, and a lot of it needs a lot of planning. And while I'm doing that, I can't concentrate on doing a video. So I'm sorry I haven't had a video for quite some time, but I've also been a little bit stuck. I felt like I want to just glue stuff down. And so this is why I want to make this one, this small one. So now I've taken the top off. Obviously, all of this will be stuck down. I absolutely don't care what it looks like. It can be as rough as you like. I'm not even quite sure now whether I might open the whole thing up and just glue it down with rough edges, because I kind of like the fact that it might have rough edges. So that's going to be the size of it. I don't know what to do at the moment. I'm kind of thinking of doing that. It's a great big long one now. I like that, and I might do the same to that and just glue it. I might just glue it sort of together for thickness rather than using a file folder. I love this rough edge, which is what I want for it. I'm going to do it. Let's go for it. It doesn't have to be really rough. What I could do is use my ow. Rough edges hurt my hand. So it's not as rough as the other one, but that's fine. I don't mind. At least it's not a nice straight edge. So I think what I might do then is glue this together sort of from the middle, because I always find that it can pucker a bit. I think what I want to do is, yeah, here's my ruler, the ruler, is sort of take some of this edge off here, because that one's what I've just done now, and I want to make it a little bit smaller, I think. So I kind of wanted to do them both, but they're going to be slightly prepared differently. So there we go. It's quite tough. I just want to take that kind of edge off. And I'm not bothered about it being straight. So we'll do the same for the other side. I don't know, just work out where I need to do it now. Like that. I might make it smaller again at the sides as well, because now it's not quite a square anymore. meat in the middle. There we go. Right, that can all go in the bin. Let's see what size it is now. See, it's a little bit of an odd size. I'm just wondering whether to take the edge off it and just kind of chop it down a little bit more. I might do that. And then I shall glue it in the middle. Let's do that. We can use this. We can use this as fodder to go in it. Can you still hear me? Probably not. Oh dear. Just trying to talk over lots of noise. Right. That's a bit better. A bit more manageable. And we'll keep that as fodder. Do you know what fodder is? Fodder is anything that you use in your collaging, and we can just stick it on a page and rip it up and make it smaller. But we'll cover that when I actually build the book. So that's the cover for that one, and I will glue it, and then I'll come back when I've sorted out the papers to go in it, and we'll sew that one together. So let's go back to this one. Firstly, I need to open up the end. Whether you can see what I'm doing or not is another thing. All I'm going to do is literally open the end and make it so that we can get in it. Right, all of this will be chopped off. I'll chop that off. But what I want it, why I want to open it is so that I can now open up the side gussets and make it bigger. And we're going to fold those gussets the other way. Right, so we will do that. The thing is with this type of cover is it tends to get a bit rough around the edges, and that's what I love about it. Now if you don't like that, then literally just cut them off. Just cut them off and cut it down to the size you want. So this is just how I'm preparing the one that I want for myself. So you can make it any size you like, depending on your envelope as well, and whether it's got gussets like that smaller one didn't. Stop talking, Elaine, nobody can hear you. Stop talking, Elaine, no one can hear you. I just get carried away because I love it. I love this. This in totally in my element right now. I absolutely love doing this, which is why I'm doing it. Right, now then, so I'll open that one up. It will be easier if I can just fold you out. Thank you. I'm trying to get it underneath the screen as well, which is really hard. Right, let's bend you back down that crease so that hopefully you'll stay there. Right, let's find my bone folder. Oh, that's got spiders on it as well. Get off! Lemon spiders. So I'm just trying to recrease it so that the crease marks stay the way I want them and not the way they were. Same this side. Ah! They're not quite in the... I think we've got a double crease here, actually. Or I've made it a double crease. I'm not sure which. I think I've made it into a double crease. Right, pull you over. You kind of have to pull it over so that it will crease the other way and get inside and do it. Once you've started it, it then becomes a lot easier. And to be honest, it doesn't matter that much, but when you fold it, it can pucker up in the middle, so it kind of does matter a bit. Right, I'm going to take the bottom off and then I'm going to fold it in half. So I won't put you through that again. I shall do that off camera. Right, you can go in the bin because that's where all the glue and that is. Oh, why won't you come off? What's the matter with you? There we go, that'll do. Right, so we now have a reasonable bottom half. I'm now going to fold it down the middle. Now, the only trouble is, where I've taken my sticker off, it's a bit sticky, which is fine. I don't know actually, maybe we'll do it that way, so it's on the outside, because I'm worried it'll stick together. Right, so... sometimes it is a pain because it's double skinned, double sided, I mean, you know, there's two sides to it. Once you glue it down, it still can be a little, because this is all wrinkly here where it's been used, where this is all nice and smooth and actually would probably be okay. But I'm debating whether... The thing is, if I fold it this way, I've got such a large bit I have to chop a bit off. If I fold it this way, I don't have to chop anything off. And it's hopefully about the right size. So it doesn't, there's no exact science when I make my journals usually, so we'll see. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that, that's plenty big enough, isn't it? That's nice, because as you add to this, it does bulk out. Now, the reason I decided to make this is because when I use the composition books, I haven't got one up here, as a glue book, they've got such thin paper and I don't always take them out. Obviously with my colour glue book, they are I've stuck two together with the tape for the colours down the edges, and my the collective, which is an en masse glue book, and it was an actual furniture catalogue, so the pages are a lot thicker, and I did take some out, but not a massive amount. I only took a few out, one that I didn't want or some that I wanted to. I liked the picture on them, so I cut them out. As those pictures obviously furniture. There was some nice chairs and things that I quite liked the colour of and that. So I wanted the actual chairs on the page, so I ripped some of the pages out. And it's quite thick. When I use, sorry, I've mucked my nail up here, which is now annoying me. My nails are really long and I've all suddenly started breaking this last day or so. They end up being too thick and bulk up a composition type notebook. So in this one, because I've got no restriction of how much I can put in it, I can put whatever I like in it, and that's the whole point. I want to be able to put some of the book images. You know, I've got some lovely bird books, all sorts of nature type books, and I want to use the images, flowers, you know, that sort of stuff. And I find that in the composition books, I don't want to mix magazine with book pages. So in this one, I can do that and choose what type of page I want to make. So this is going to be a mixture between a collage and a glue book, really, but it's all gluing down, and that's what I love about it. So that's why I'm making it. That's what I love about the Christmas one as well. So all I need to do is chop the top off. So I think I'm going to leave, I don't know actually. I don't know whether to just take a bit more off the bottom and then take the top off, because this one's not damaged like the other one, you know, the one I've just prepared. This one is, and we've got quite a lot of leeway here, so it can bulk out quite a lot if I want it to, or I can just chop the edges off, you know, like I've just done, rip it down. But for now, I'm going to leave it on, and I'm going to leave that lip so I've got that nice bit of leeway, because I haven't decided on whether I've got enough in here in the signature yet. So yeah, I mean, it's quite thick and it soon bulks up. My sci-fi glue book, I made that one as a kind of a proper junk journal, really, because I put lots of book pages in it and all sorts of things like that in there. And I did use some painted papers, which I'm not going to use in this one, partly because most of the painted papers that I've got are not big enough, and I've used most of the ones I had that I used in the Christmas journal. Now the Christmas journal, you see it for the first time in my first Christmas Let's Get Gluing Christmas one. There's only two Christmas ones. I didn't get much done, and I only just, oh excuse me, that wasn't me, that was this bit of paper on my desk. I just run my zip down it. Sorry about that. This is now annoying me, sorry. Let me just deal with it. Right, so I think what we'll do is, just that I love all this stuff on it, but we tend to cover it up anyway. But I kind of was wondering whether to cut this bit off that's very wrinkly, because it does cause problems. I think I'm going to do that. We're going to sort of pick the middle, and I'm hoping to leave the label on. I'm in an ahhing whether I want this way or not. I don't know. So we'll take it off here, about here, just below the label, and we'll do 1/2 at a time, which could be my hands are really playing up from today, I'm afraid, so I don't have the power in my fingers to rip it off properly, I'm afraid. So we can use that as fodder again. Oh, it's got a QR code on there. Right, we'll put that over there for now. So that's that half. Now we need to rip this bit down, which I'm going to go a little bit higher than. I think what I'll do is I'll turn it around because I'm right-handed and it's easier. Right, let's do it about here, I think. Out there somewhere. Let's get that out of the way. Right, that's it started. Let's see if we can. Again, I'm not bothered whether it's a bit wobbly or not. Oh, why does it do that at the end? It's really annoying. Probably why my nails have gone. I'll do this. There we go. Right. So we've got that bit off now. That'll make another glue book if I want one. Little tiny one. That's what we have. So if I wanted to take this off, because you know, I just want the overhang so that, you know, when it's actually bulking out, and I haven't taken off any of the edges. I'm not making them level. So they're just, however they've come out in here is fine. I'm not bothered at all. And we can now stitch that in. I think what I'm going to do is I need to... I'm not particularly worried about where they are, but I just need to check the smaller ones. The shorter, let's see if we can find one. So like that one, I'll put that one in the middle, so you get it sort of, it'll stick down quite well, or you can have it either at the top or you can put it down the bottom. The next one is, that's quite large. Yeah, so I'll have this one in the middle. I didn't realise they were quite that close together. And this one more the bottom. Where else have we got one? There's quite a lot of... They're a bit too close together. I haven't got any here. So we'll take that one out of there, I think, and we'll pop it in here. Don't know if I like it with that one. This is a strange sort of yellow in this one. Maybe it might go better with being on there. Yeah, we'll do that, I think. Yep, so we'll put that one near the bottom. So when I stitch it, I will stitch it in 3 places. I don't think I'm going to do a 5, I'll just do 3. I'm not worried about it moving about and stuff like that. But so I need to stitch it about, I usually go about 1 inch in roughly, maybe a little bit more, 1.5 inches from the top and the bottom, and then obviously the middle one will be in the middle. So two catches of will make it stay in a lot better than just one. So that one's in the middle, and I think we'll put that one near the top, so it'll get caught in both places there. This one I think I'll leave in the middle, so I like it against the pink, which is why I put it there. And this is the centre. which will be in centre more or less. Doesn't matter whether it's got a little bit of each side, but I think that'll do us. And yeah, I think so. I think I'm happy with that. Stamperia paper. I just remembered. I know I probably already put it on the screen, but it just suddenly come to me. My brain is not working. That on the front or the back? Oh no, I wanted that on the back, didn't I? That's right. Yeah, just checking to make sure I'm putting it in the right way around. Right, we need some clips. Here's my other clip. They should be attached to a basket somewhere. Oh dear, don't fall off. Don't fall off! Ah, here it is, over here. Alright, there it is, my big bulldog clips. Right, so I'm going to find the middle. You need to make sure they're all really pressed in to where I want it to go. Just up a fraction, I think. And we're going to clip it down like that. And then I'm going to do it again. I'll turn it round. I'm going to do it again. Make sure it's really clipped in tight to the middle. Or pushed in tight to the middle. And hold on, I think I lost it. Yeah. I'll clip this one down this side. I always do them alternate sides, so you can take one off if you need to, and it doesn't mean that both sides are unclipped or loose. Right, so I think I've got that in quite tight. Right, I'm a wing it. I make the hole where I feel it can go. Where's my awl gone? Where's my awl? I got it out somewhere. Right, found it. Right at the bottom. It slides down under because I keep it in my where my pens and my scissors and my rulers and all that sort of stuff goes. Right then, now what I tend to do is I don't measure, but I'll find the middle, which, you know, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not selling it. And what I do is I am pushing, and it should come out there. If you can see it yet, I don't know. Here it is. And I'll push it so it's pretty big because they're tapered, because I use baker's string, twine, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just twisting it to pull it out. So there's my hole, and it only works, the hole only stays in place when it's folded like this, because obviously that's the way it's going to go. So I don't have a cradle, which some people use, where you put this into the cradle. I am pushing this down, and I think I'm going to go probably about here on this one, and I'm going to twist a little bit and then shut the book so it actually comes out right in the middle. So you can see it. I tend to spin it and push at the same time. It's just starting to come out now, just here. So you can see where the first one is, and this is where the second one is. It has missed the spine a fraction, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pointing it downwards, which is probably half my problem. I hadn't done that, while I push it and make it bigger, and then hopefully it ends up a little bit more in the spine. But you know, near as damn it. as they say. So that's that one. And just make sure you're still plugged in there, and try and gauge a similar distance. Let me just turn it round a bit. I think it's moved slightly this end when I clipped it on. Sorry. Let's do that. It's because it's got overhang and the clip's not as big as the other one. Right, so I want it to be around about here, I would say, where that line is there. I'm going to go in and I'm going to twist as I push at the same time. Sometimes I spin it, it's already started to come through. It's just that my hands get a bit, they can get a bit painful by doing this, so I don't make many books because of it. Give it a little wiggle. You see how it's tapering and getting fatter, so I like it to be at the fat point, and then it makes the hole bigger, because the middle one especially gets to put through it, or well, I don't always do that with these big ones. I tend to do them at the top. I'm going to make that one a little bit bigger, wiggle it around a little bit and spin it to come back out. So that one's a bit bigger because that will have all that one. I don't know, maybe I should do that one actually. Is that the top? No, that's the bottom. It's because I've turned it over, haven't I? That's the top. So let's make that one a little bit bigger again. And I'm going to wiggle it about and make sure it's quite large, because I tend to have them come out at the top. And it's just the way I do it. So I can tie it here and I can have some dangles on it if I want to, because I like my dangles. Right, so they're my holes. And I just realised I didn't bring me little box up. I don't think it's up here. I think I've left it in the house. Yes, I think I have. I don't think it's here. I bought these up. But I didn't bring the needle box up. Right, I'll be back in a minute. I'll have to go and get it. Right, so I've been and got my needles. I use quite a chunky needle, which is why it can be a bit difficult, because I want a big eye to get sort of thicker thread through the eye a lot easier. Now, what shall we choose? I kind of got a couple of different. This is my beeswax, which I pull the thread through to help it slide through the holes better. Sometimes I forget to do it, but with this one, this is a cotton, and it's just like I think people kind of knit with it and whatever, but I picked it up somewhere. I can't think where I got it, but there was like a big pack of all sorts of different colours. So I've just sort of pulled out a couple of colours that I quite fancy using, and I like them all really, but I'm kind of starting to go with these two. I just fancied, I think this one is the one that's calling me at the moment, so I think we'll go with that one, which is kind of like a rusty burnt orangey type of colour. So what I tend to do is I usually like a dangle, so I always do more than what is necessary. Most people do 3, so 3 times the length of the book, and I'm usually pretty generous anyway. because sometimes you have to cut the ends off. So 1, 2, 3, and I usually do 3.5-ish, something like that. And this usually gives me quite a good tail. And I'll put him back in there. Keeps the thread from all unravelling and in my bag and creating a problem. So what I tend to do is I've got it all the way around. I pull it through the beeswax a couple of times and it just coats it with, I'll try and see if I can get a different edge on it, and literally just pull it through to add some wax to the thread. Makes it a little bit more slippery. So I think we'll do another one because I don't think there's quite enough on here yet. So that's what I tend to do with these, you know, anything that's a bit thicker that I want to use but makes it just a bit simpler to get it to run through the through the holes for me. So you can't really see much on there, but I can feel it, and it just gives it a nice slightly smoother finish to it. I am going to chop off, I shouldn't really use my, take that off there, and we'll thread my needle, which will probably take forever. Lick it. I know it's disgusting, but I always find it works better if you lick it. Right, there we go. So I've got a nice bit of thread. So I'm going to start here, and which is the top. Just make sure it's the top. I mean, if I'm making a proper journal, a proper book type journal, I usually put a template down to mark the, you know, to get it even and things like that. But when I'm making books for myself, which is mostly what I do, I don't do that. So I'm going to start at the top. Most people usually start in the middle, but I basically want this bit to be a dangle. I will probably adjust it a bit because I like it to be able to move it out of the way of the journal if I put beads on it. So we'll probably go a bit more than that. So it's off the top usually when I'm working with it, with the beads on the end. So I'll go in the middle. So we'll go out through the middle. I think this is right. I haven't done it for ages. I'm just trying to think. Go back. Oh, this is the tricky bit. Make sure you're going through all the layers. And then back through the middle. Try not to catch the thread because that mucks it up. You can't adjust it if that's the case. Let's just pull that bit through. So the inside is done. The outside, you've got that bit, and this is what I tie it to. So I've actually not left a long enough thread on the top. So to adjust it, this is when this really does need to be, I need to go the other way. I need to pull that through and work my way back like that. That's it, that's better. So I'm going to take my needle off, put it over there so I don't knock it off in the meantime. Right, now then I'm going to take the clips off, because this is where I really need to make sure it's tight enough. Firstly, I will go through and make sure I've caught all the pages. Oh look, that one's very near the edge. I didn't do that one very well. That's the only trouble with being in the middle, I'm afraid, but I did catch it. That just makes it a bit more stable. Yeah, just making sure I've got them all really. Yeah, you can just sort of see little tiny, you can see the thread slightly through them all. I can see it probably better than you can, and obviously the middle's done. You can see it on that. Now sometimes the you know, the hole pops. You can see it on that one because it's near the front and it's obviously pulling out through, but it goes all the way through. So what we need to do is pull this way, pull this way. What I tend to do is ping these. See how that one's needs to tighten up, which is we're going to do that. As I pull the other one, this one tightens that one, and the top one that's at the top tightens that one, which won't tighten properly until I tighten here. So because I want it at the top, it does get a little bit tricky and you can lose a little bit of tension doing it this way. So I'll tie my first one, but you need to tie it so it goes down to this hole here, and we need to make sure it gets tight into that part of the hole rather than obviously halfway down or whatever. And this is when it gets tricky, putting the second tie in. So I'll get it through like that. I will put the tension on it and put my thumb in the way. And you have to be really quick. And then tighten it up again, and I usually put a double knot on, partly because of where it is and it will have beads on it, and it just tightens that up a bit more. So that's got quite a good tension on it. You don't want it too tight because it can end up ripping the pages, especially things like the papers that are thinner. That's partly why I don't always put thin paper in, because it just tears so easily, where the card can cope with it. It does make the holes a little bit bulky, but with, you know, once we're gluing in it, we can push it down. I just kind of push them in a little bit just to put them back into the hole, the bit of paper that's popped out. So this sort of paper is the worst for getting damaged really in the holes. But once that's in, I've got a nice long dangle, and that is sewn in, and there we have it. So the decoration part, I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. on the front. I'm not bothered right now, and I'm not actually going to work in it today, but as you can see, it's just a fairly straightforward kind of blank glue book that you can put whatever you like in. It can get as bulky as you like, because you know what you put in. You don't need a massive amount of pages, and don't forget, you know, they're double and then they're folded in half, and so you've got, from one piece of cardstock or paper, you've got 4 sides. So I don't know how many I put in actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, still a page, 14, 15, 16, and the centre is 17. So that's quite a large signature. I mean, if I was doing a 3 signature glue, journal, whatever, book, I would probably keep them no more than 10, depending on how many signatures I put in. I have done my Big Gertie, which is a proper junk journal but in A4 size. I was gonna bring her up actually, and I forgot to bring her. She has 5 or 7 signatures, but the actual amount of pages in each signature is something like 5 or 6 sheets to a signature. And so a signature, this is a whole signature. All of these pages folded in half is a signature. So this is a 1 signature book. But if I had 3, I would probably keep them either 10 or around that kind of number of pages. If I'm doing multiples, then I really reduce it down, and what that does is you can space them out in a very wide spine, and it makes it so that hopefully it lies flatter. Each signature you work in, you're not going against the bulk of a signature together. I don't know if that quite makes sense, but I know that when you're working in it, it just makes it flatter generally, because there's not too many sheets in the signature you're working in. As the book itself bulks up when you've got a lot of stuff in it, I mean, I don't use journals in a proper junk journal form now, where I'm adding pockets and I'm adding tags and all this sort of stuff. I don't really do that. I use my journals purely to make collage or glue booking type journals, or just generally I tend to use them for memory keeping more than anything. So I might put a special birthday card or a special Mother's Day card that my daughter's given me into the journal, and they really bulk things up having card stock in there, especially greeting cards of all sorts. But I want to keep it because it was a very special birthday for me, or she really enjoyed buying that particular card, or I really loved it for whatever reason. I mean, I can't keep them all, but she's very good at finding me nice cards that I can actually use in my journaling and this sort of stuff. So as you can see, I have all of the gusset that I opened up that's left, and so you could get away with not even opening the gusset up. I tend to cover mine in a lot of like a collagey thing on the front of when I make these, but I found that they do tend to really peel up and get damaged very easily, because I don't have anywhere specifically to keep my journals, especially my glue books. You know, I'm carrying them around up and down here when I'm filming, and obviously when I'm using them in the house, and I keep them in the bag that I come up with, and that's the problem. They get bashed about. So when I made the collective, I used the covers from the magazines as the decoration, and they seem to hold up a lot better as cover pictures and whatever. The other thing is, obviously, you can use this sort of, you know, 230 GSM is really thick, and so you could use those as a base for a cover. See, I really like this one, but I'm not sure if I'm particularly keen on that side, so I could use, and there's usually two of them. Have I still got the other one, or have I used that? I took some out of here already. There's a couple in here that are quite nice, because that one of them won't do the whole of the front, but that doesn't really matter. You don't have to put it all over the front. Or I could use the bumblebees. I really love this, actually. I love this gold one. I'm very tempted to use the bumblebees, actually. I might do. I haven't decided yet. And there's no rush. We can still use the book, even though it hasn't got anything on the front. I'll make this up in a different video, and I'll just sort of tell you how I did it, obviously, and I can refer you to this video when I put it together, because I want to do something totally different in this particular book, and I'd like to show you what I've got planned for that. Right, so I think that is it for today, and I hope I wasn't too noisy. I know I was noisy, but I hope it wasn't too noisy and you could cope with me doing that. So yes, so what is a very boring brown bag turns into a lovely glue book, and you can put in whatever types of paper you want, but the trouble is with this sort of size of book is the size of paper, and I was going to put some book pages in, but I found some nice scrapbook paper, and I hope that I might be creating a giveaway. And I've said this so many times, I was going to have a giveaway at 500 subscribers, then I was going to do one at 700 subscribers, then I was going to do one at 750 subscribers. I'm now nearly 800 subscribers, which is fantastic. So I think we'll have an 800 one. I think I'm about 6 short of 800, so I will come back when we're getting pretty close and I will do a giveaway. So watch out for that. Please subscribe if you'd like to be, because you have to be subscribed, and there'll be obviously other rules that you've got to follow, and I will come back when we've hit 800. I might do another one if we get to 1,000, if I get to 1,000, which I'm really hoping to, because I would like to earn a little bit of money. I think I've got enough watch hours, I just haven't got enough subscribers yet. So please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It will help me get to my 1,000, and once you get to 1,000, and I think is it 4,000 or 10,000 watch hours, which I think I'm okay on. It is purely my subscribers that I'm short of. So yes, I will be having adverts on my channel then. That's the only trouble, but it's a way of earning just a little tiny bit of money. You don't earn a lot really from it, but it will help the funds. Okay then, so I think we're done for today, and I will come back hopefully and we'll do a glue book session in the next one. Please don't forget to hit the like button, that would be wonderful. It really helps me on YouTube to be seen. So keep well, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.